Hi, I'm Garvaos here at Rezzed 2012 with Nick from PR and marketing at FireFly. So how's it going? How are you finding the Expo at the moment?
It's a great show. I think it's the best show I've been to, actually, because people can actually sit down and play the games rather than having to queue up for about 3 hours to get on like a theme park type ride. But yeah, it's great. We're talking to people about the game. Our first public-facing event since 10 years, since the company was founded. So loving it, absolutely loving it.
Brilliant. And how's the reception for Stronghold at the moment?
It's really good. I mean, you know, yesterday was about 8 hours, but it went by like that because we were just talking to people all day, handing out free stuff. Genuine free stuff. It actually says free stuff on it. So we just had a great time, yeah. I'm showing people the game, letting people have a go. It's kind of hard to demo an MMO at an event sometimes, but we sort of found a way around it, giving people tutorial and stuff like that. So yeah, cool. Making a big noise with our speakers, so it's attracting a lot of people.
Excellent. I mean, a lot of our readers are Stronghold fans. They played the game originally when it first came out. They would say it looks quite a lot like the first game. So how do you compare it to sort of the previous series?
I would say if you look at it, it's actually pretty much identical to the original Stronghold game. It's basically bringing that into an online world and doing MMORTS in a way that isn't a Facebook game. It isn't just simply you click, you get a list of reports, every village looks the same, you design your own village, you design your own castle. So there's that Stronghold element to it. It's very customizable. People like creating their own castles. That's why people play the Stronghold games. So if I was going to say what it was like, about why it was like the first one, I would say customization, the fact that it's not a Facebook game, the fact that it's a full-fledged MMORTS, persistent online game, but with the original Stronghold gameplay.
Excellent. And it's currently in beta test at the moment. What's the general reception from fans from the beta testing?
So it's kind of like an open beta, sort of Minecraft-esque. I'm not just saying that to make it sound really popular. It's great. Every day we get feedback from people. Obviously it's an online game, so we get a lot of stats, but it's also we can talk to people every day in the forums, talk to them on Facebook and Twitter, and just get feedback on the game. And because we're quite a small company, I can just turn around and say to the lead programmer, this is wrong with the game, and he says, yes, I agree. And then by the afternoon, we've kind of changed that, so it's a very quick, sort of fast development process, and we're looking to release the game soon, maybe this year, but we're going to do it when it's fully ready and, you know, ready to be reviewed. And yeah, but yeah, the actual public, the people playing it, they've been playing it for like a year and a half now. Some people have been playing it before that in the closed alpha. But they're sort of, we've got long-time fans, but we need to start appealing to the newbies as well. So yeah, they love it. It's a big community.
Excellent, and it's primarily a co-op game. If you were to go there by yourself into the Stronghold world, do you think you would last long?
Past level 8 might be a bit difficult. We get some people coming in and getting to their sort of second village. So you expand and you develop, and your first village will reach a point where it's sort of at capacity. You need to expand, and at that point you kind of need to start forging alliances with other players. You can solo. It is possible to solo, but it's difficult based on where you are, because it's a persistent world, and because it's sort of open PvP. You get 3 days of protection at the start, but because it's open PvP, depending on where you are, it's going to be quite difficult to survive if all your neighbors are super aggressive. So we give away, the game works on a card system, and we give away up to 3 packs of cards for free every week, so you don't need to pay for them. A lot of people do just survive on those card packs, and if you're playing solo, you can boost yourself up with that. So my advice to solo players would be to get your free card packs and use those as best you possibly can. But make friends. It's way easier when you make friends.
I mean, one of our writers plays Stronghold Kingdoms quite a lot. He's wanting to know, in regards to people paying for card packs and people just solely relying on the actual free card packs that you get. I mean, would there be a level playing ground between those two players, or?
I think so, yeah. I mean, one thing we find quite a lot is that some of the really high-playing players, because obviously with any free-to-play game, there's no limit on the amount you can spend, and it's very difficult from a design perspective to get that balancing right. But we find sort of our highest level playing players, we say to them, oh, so how are you? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine. Are you still playing the game? It's like, no, I've kind of stopped paying for that stuff because I've just sort of worked out that you can just, if you log in like every day, even for like 5 minutes, you can keep your village going, you can defend as well as you can. I mean, the payment system is really if you want to sit down for hours on end and play the game. If you want to just log in for a couple minutes every day, check on your castle, maybe play for half an hour to an hour, there's not really much of a demand to pay, and there's quite a balance between the non-payers and the payers, because the non-payers will band together and they can use those free cards. It's not like there's nothing in the game that you can only get through a payment system, apart from premium tokens. And most of the high-end players don't bother with those because they get to a point where they just sort of, they're so involved in the game that they can just manage all their stuff, and they're very confident about it. So yeah, I think there's a balance there. I think if you try the game out, you'll find out yourself as well.
Brilliant. And what else our other writer was saying? He was talking about Monk War. Do you know much about that?
Monk War's thing is essentially a way for economic players to play the game as well, because there's a balance between paying and free play, but there's also a balance between people that want to be super aggressive and other people who just want to farm and maybe fund people's war efforts but not be directly involved in all the conflicts. Aspect is you can sort of corrupt elections, and you can send monks off to protect villages, and you can sort of play the political game as well as the political stuff is built into sort of the chat system and the voting system, but it's also into the gameplay as well. So you can sort of be sort of sneaky, a bit like Crusader Kings 2. You can sort of mess around with people and forge alliances, and stop attacks. Even if you don't have an army, doesn't mean you're not powerful.
Brilliant. And when is the actual game coming out for release?
TBA 2012. No, we're going to try and do it in the next couple of months, I think. We're going to try and clean up the interface, and we recently hired a UI artist, so we're going to hopefully get him on that, and yeah, hopefully release very, very soon. But it is open beta now, so if you want to play, go to www.strongkingdoms.com. Sorry, and yeah, play the game for free. Try it out.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Nick, and hope the rest of the expo goes well for you.
Cheers, guys.
All right.